everyone and welcome to... That was just not going to come out right. Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a lovely weekend and I said it right that time. So today I thought I could do a useful little story time video for you. I had laser eye surgery 2.5 years ago and I thought, well, why not do a video on what to kind of expect from it if you are interested in getting laser eye surgery yourself. So I'll talk through things like the aftercare, the pain, the whole process, you know, what actually happens when you go into surgery, the cost, all sorts of things like that. So I'm aware this could be quite... Sorry. It will be a long video, so I will put timestamps below that'll take you to the certain different parts of the video if you're just interested in, say, one specific thing. So, quick overview on my sort of history with eyesight. I got glasses when I was 15, had those for a couple of years, then I started using the nocturnal lenses. A lot of people haven't heard of them, so basically it's a hard lens, you put it in at night before you go to sleep for your 8 hours or whatever, and then you pop it out in the morning and they basically reshape the shape of your cornea for, I don't know, I'm assuming a day or two. And yeah, it's just if you don't want to commit to like putting in lenses in the morning because people's eyes can sometimes be dry, or you just don't want to wear glasses or whatever, that was a really good alternative. So I used them for maybe like 1.5 years. I started using then soft daily contact lenses, and then I would just wear glasses when I was at school or whatever, soft lenses when I went out, and then it was when I was about 20 I decided, right, I will look into laser eye surgery. You obviously have to go for your consultations and stuff because it would have been a waste if my eyesight hadn't fully formed yet, but whenever I went for my consultation they were like, no, you are a good candidate, it's unlikely your eyesight will change at this stage, because I'd had like the same prescription for 5 or 6 years. And yeah, there was also the guarantee with the place that I went, if your eyesight did change you could get it done again. So I looked into the risks and everything too, and it all sounded good. I wouldn't have that whole like waking up like dry eyes putting contacts in, so I decided to go for it. Can I just say before I properly start this video, if you're seriously thinking of getting laser eye surgery and are easily freaked out, either skip past my sort of pain timestamp or maybe just click off this video. I was an exception to the rule with laser eye surgery. I don't know what happened, but the pain and the healing process, it was not good. Like my best friend, she had it pretty much the exact same time as me, around that time, and she was fine. Textbook case, the way it should be. Most cases will be like that, but just a warning beforehand. So we'll start with the consultation. Basically, I went for the consultation to see if I was a suitable candidate. They did a couple of different tests on me using various machines. They put these drops in my eyes that made my pupils go massive. There was some purpose to that, but I can't remember. I just remember going home like, oh. And then, yeah, they got back to me and said I was a suitable candidate, and the best sort of, there are various types of laser eye surgery, but the best one for me going forward would have been the LASIK eye surgery. So I'm not a doctor, not very good with the specific terms, but grab the trusty MacBook. I'm going to read you out a quote from the London Vision Clinic about LASIK and basically what it is, because I am pretty sure that they can articulate this a lot better than any of my attempts would be able to. So for LASIK, a flap is created within the outer layer of the cornea which simply folds back, and a computer-controlled amount of tissue is removed. Then the flap is returned to its original position. Most patients only feel mild discomfort for a few hours, and visual recovery is fast, with most patients seeing 20/20 or practically 20/20 the next morning. See, if there's like dog poo, I will be the person to stand in it, or if there's, you know, like something that can be dropped, I'll be the person that drops it. Or if there's laser eye surgery that's gonna go wrong and be 10 times more painful than it should be, I'll be the person it happens to. So the cost, this is obviously one of the biggest factors whenever people decide whether to get the laser eye surgery or not. It is a lifelong investment, and it is something that when you get it done, you get it done once and that's it. You know, no more buying glasses, contact lenses, nocturnal lenses, whatever. Also, the place that I went had a lifetime guarantee, so even if my eyesight did change again, because I know that I was quite, like 20 is young to be getting it done, and I was worried, you know, what if my eyesight does change, because it's more likely to change when you're younger. What if that happened? Will this all be a waste? But they had a lifetime guarantee, which means if it does, you can get it done again. So that was a big selling point for me. I looked up current like estimate prices for the LASIK eye surgery online, and I wrote it down because I can't remember off the top of my head. So you're looking currently at £1,195 to around £2,700 per eye. So yeah, to reiterate, it is not cheap. That's what you're looking at per eye. I got mine 2.5 years ago, as I said, so I can't exactly remember how much I paid, like to the penny, but I do remember it was upper 2,000s, nearing 3,000, so I'm gonna say like maybe 2,700, 2,800 for both eyes. As I say, lifetime investment. Whenever I was looking up the LASIK eye surgery, it brought up like the other different types. So there are other types of eye surgery that average on £1,195 all the way up to £3,250 per eye. So that's kind of just giving you ballpoint figures to play with. So this is the bit that I personally would find most interested if I was watching someone else's laser eye surgery video. What happens on the actual day and when you go into the procedure. I was told not to wear like a jumper that would have like lint or anything on it, you know, like in case little bits were floating about and they could get near my eyes like before or after the surgery and irritate my eyes. Obviously no makeup. It says online you can't wear makeup for like a week after you get it done, but for me I was told 10 days, and to be honest, because your eyes after they're like kind of gunky and still so sensitive, and then the thought of anything being near them or having to use like your cotton wool or wipes and pulling them and taking the makeup off, I would go even longer than 10 days without wearing makeup if you could. I refrain from wearing makeup for a good while afterwards. So on the day of the surgery, my mum took me, because you can't drive the day of, obviously, and I went into a little darkened waiting room. I was sitting there probably an hour or so. There was paperwork and things to fill out. Don't know if there was any specific reason it was dark, that was just my place. But I remember they had a TV on the wall and I saw that it was Netflix it was connected up to, and there was this really sad documentary on about whales and them being kept in captivity, and obviously I was sat there for like an hour, and it was the day that I was getting my eye surgery, so I was quite nervous and I couldn't really focus on anything, and then on top of that I was just being forced to like watch this video about these poor whales, so it was just like, it was getting to me, it was making me really sad and extra stressed on top of the eye surgery. So I asked one of the like nurse ladies that was kind of coming and going, can I change it? So she gave me the remote. She was like, oh yeah, that's fine. And I can't remember what I put on, but the most prevalent thing about my whole waiting process before the laser eye surgery was that documentary. It was horrible. So I was then called in for my eye surgery after my traumatic sad documentary Netflix experience, and yeah, the people were really lovely. They sat me down and explained what to expect, which I'm gonna take you through now. So yeah, no whirly jumpers, no perfume, hair products, anything that could kind of get in the air and irritate the eyes. So they put me in a reclining chair and basically my eyes were like clamped open, and then they did one eye at a time. There was a light straight ahead, could not tell you how far it is, but I was told just focus my eye straight on that light the whole time. So yeah, once my eyes were cleaned, numbed, clamped, they started into the surgery as I was just staring at this light, and it was fine. like, I don't remember any pain or feeling really panicked or anything. The woman nurse that was like with me, so it was the man, he was doing the actual lasering in the surgery, and then the woman, she was so nice and she just kind of held my hand. She was like, you're doing great, and kept me really calm. So that was nice. Okay, so this makes it sound really grim, but if you've watched this far, I feel like you're interested and you do want all the details, and don't let it put you off. So I just remember the smell, and that was kind of my only negative feeling when I was in there. The laser, or I don't know what it was making the smell, but I just remember the smell of, like, I would liken it to burning hair. You know when you're like straightening or curling your hair and you get that kind of sizzly smell? I just remember kind of lying, like trying to keep calm, but smelling this and being like, I really hope it's not my eyes doing that. But that's normal apparently. I googled it. Google everything. So yeah, that is kind of all that I remember from actually being in the surgery. So then I was sent home with these little goggles things with like sponge around the side, and they like tinted, and I was supposed to basically keep my eyes closed for, I think it was as much as possible for the rest of that evening and the next day, and when I was sleeping make sure I wear those goggles, because I think they're scared if you turn over in your sleep or whatever and you might knock or do something to your eye. So yeah, got those, and then they give you, because obviously your eyes are going to be drier than normal through the recovery process, so a couple of different types of daily lenses, a couple of daily drops that you put in every couple of hours. It was all written down when to use them, and then another kind of like eye drops formula that you put on right before you went to sleep, and it was like a thicker consistency. So got to the car, it was all fine, just a bit of discomfort still, and then we got 3/4 of the way home, and the pain. Can I just say, okay, I'm a bit of a dramatic individual, like I love a good story time or whatever, but like, being serious, I have a very high pain threshold. Like, I'm not being dramatic when I say this, and I'm not making this into a whole big story just for a good YouTube video. Like, the pain that I experienced was not normal. I got 3/4 of the way home, and then this pain just hit me, and it was like my eyes were on fire. I can't describe it. It was just the most burning, tingling, warm pain. I couldn't even open my eyes. You're not really supposed to open them after the surgery anyway, because you can't see, everything's blurry, and you're supposed to let them rest and stay in a darkened room and stuff, but like, I couldn't even properly open them a tiny bit to get myself into the house and to my room, because they were so sore. So my mum had to like lead me to the room, you know, curtains closed, all that, straight into bed. And they'd give us these numbing drops that you're supposed to add kind of every couple of hours to keep the pain under control. Even opening my eyes to put these numbing drops in, I remember that was such a task. And my friend that also got the laser eye surgery around the same time, like, she did not experience any of this. Like, hers was fine. She kind of could have opened her eyes like a little bit to get her to where she needed to be the first 48 hours. She, the pain, she said it was uncomfortable, but not, you know, nothing crazy. Unlike me. So the numbing drops offered a slight relief, but I was still like, I remember the tears kind of, like, I was crying, but then thinking I should not be crying because this is going to be really bad for the eye surgery, but it was so bad, like, I couldn't stop myself from crying. And then eventually I did fall asleep. This was the day that I got it, and I woke up a couple of hours later. I was on like really strong painkillers and I hadn't slept well the night before, so yeah, that I did go over to sleep. And then I woke up and we tried the numbing drops again, and it was like each time they were offering less and less relief. My mum was up with me like the whole night. I was physically sick from the pain of it, and when I needed to go to the toilet, it was like you had to like feel yourself across the walls and stuff to get there. So then after like 24 hours of this, we went back to the place, me and my little goggles with my feet, like mum's scarf over the goggles, because even with my eyes closed and the goggles, the light coming through was still so painful, like through my eyelids. So yeah, she basically like steered me through the city centre, and I was like, ah! And then we got there, and I'm not turning this into a rant video, but the reception we got there, the vibe that we both got was basically the woman was quite rude. She, I think, thought I was just young and a drama queen and was making a fuss over nothing. We were told, no, we can't have any more numbing drops because there's just like a certain amount that they can do. There's a certain amount that they can give you, sorry. You know, they couldn't prescribe me like any really strong medication or whatever to help with this. No, there were no doctors or whatever on hand that could look at me and see if this was normal. And I was in so much pain, I just needed to go home or get somewhere dark by this point. So yeah, we were basically sent away with like no help or no more guidance on this. Which, when I look back now, I think my mum only left because I was in so much pain. She saw that I just needed to get home and this was not the time to make a fuss or whatever. So yeah, we went, but she did complain afterwards and they were like, yeah, like that was not normal. That should not have happened, that degree of pain. But it was all kind of just brushed under the carpet and wasn't made into a big thing at the time. Yeah, so back we went home. To give some context, most people after 48 hours, their eyes are starting to return to normal. I know my friend that got it done after the first 24 hours, she was kind of able to get up and move around her house and stuff. Me, we are looking at 4 days minimum before I could even open my eyes for sustainable amounts of time. But I was just so glad to see that it was starting to go back to normal, and then a couple of days after that, like, it was fine, the vision was fine. My eyes were just very sensitive to light, but I was just so grateful that it was all fine. So still was off the makeup, wearing the sunglasses thing, using the eye drops whenever I was supposed to, sleeping in the goggles for a good few weeks so that I wasn't knocking my eyes at night or whatever. And once the eyesight had returned to normal, it was all fine. That was probably about 5 days later, the eyesight returned to normal, and the sensitivity, or searing pain as I called it earlier, all kind of calmed down. The two things that I would say, my eyes for, I'm gonna say more than a year afterwards, they were very dry, but I did look that up and apparently that can happen to some people. And then some mornings whenever I would like rub my eyes, or just like certain times when I would just randomly rub my eyes, and we're talking like months on here, not because you weren't supposed to rub your eyes initially after, so like I didn't, I mean months down the line, it was like a really painful like pulling feeling, and I could feel it like on my pupils or whatever. And yeah, that was like, it was painful enough to make me be like, oh, like, you know, you could physically see it on my face if I rubbed my eye and it hurt me. But now, 2.5 years later, I don't get that anymore, but I did get that, I'm gonna say, for probably about 1.5 years afterwards. I don't know if that is normal or if that was just linked to because I had such a bad experience anyway. But on the whole, I haven't, well, after that initial pain situation, I haven't had any issues with it, and my eyesight is still perfect. So yeah, given the experience with my pain, I would not put myself through it again because it was awful. However, I googled laser eye surgery experiences, not negative experiences because I didn't want to freak myself out all over again, but just like experiences in general, and the first page, they were all positive reviews. And I feel like that's going to be like, now, as I said before, not a doctor, so don't quote me on the statistics or medical terms or whatever, but I feel like 99.9% of cases are going to be just the standard textbook case where you bit of discomfort, a couple of days rest, and you're all good. Like, don't let my experience freak you out, because if I was guaranteed the like standard sort of textbook case, would I do it again? Yes, 100%, because it is so nice waking up in the morning and not having to do my lenses and glasses. So overall, the majority of people, I do think it's a really good thing, and afterwards, like, life is so much easier without the glasses and contact lenses. So that is my laser eye surgery experience. Thank you so much for watching, if you've stuck the whole way to the end of this very rambly long video. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, please give me a little thumbs up and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!